Hey guys, welcome back to Mokho Talks. My name is Mokho, and tonight I'm going to talk about a subject that's been roaming around Twitter lately, and not just Twitter, basically the whole news area regarding especially the gamer. So the gamer is basically a website that is just chock full of article, guides, and news regarding the gaming industry in general and gaming in general. Now this website I use fairly often to get most of my ideas and news and articles and even sources, and I've been using it for a good while right now, and to be honest, I'm quite shocked, literally shocked by how many insane articles that's been written lately. What do I mean? Well, let's jump right into it, I guess. Let me switch. So, you know Baldur Gate 3, right? The game has been released in August. It's been a quite a good game for me. Quite a good experience, good game. I've been honestly enjoying myself playing with my friend. Maybe you guys seen some of my streams, some of my gameplay. I've appreciated the game, the depth of the game, the amount of work and effort they put into it regarding the small details, the characters, the dialogue, the mechanics, the gameplay, the combat, and everything in that regards. The environment, everything about Baldur's Gate is amazing, and quite literally it's gonna be one of my favorite games right after Dragon Age and Divinity 2. So for me to read these kind of articles, I'm pretty sure you guys have read what's written right in front of you. To read these kind of articles really puts me in a very, like, it just puts me in a bad mood, because what you're writing here as a journalist, I want to say journalist, but honestly it's just your own diary at this point in time. What you're writing here is just very, I'm gonna just straightforward and say it, it's shit. Like, I understand this is your opinion on this, and I understand you're writing this for your own stuff, or just writing it for clicks to garner attention, to garner views for your articles and for your website. But to be this kind of disingenuous is just plain asinine. Alright, so what am I actually talking about? Alright, like, why am I so pissed off? Why am I saying this? Right off the bat, with the title of the article, Baldur Gate 3's weakest element is the unforgiving combat. Right off the bat, right there, right in front of your face, this clickbaity title just goes on and say it. Weakest element is the unforgiving combat, and that right there, I would say this from the start, the person who wrote this article is full of shit, right? Literally right there. What she wrote is like, I'm here for a good time, not a hard time, and again, really now. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna read the article together, alright guys, and I will give my opinion as we read on, and my final thoughts at the end of this video, which we usually do in this channel, which I honestly like doing, and hopefully you guys like too. So, Baldur's Gate is a bigger hit than anyone could ever imagined. Even Larian Studios was blown away by the reception, as it planned for 100,000 concurrent players and was greeted by a whopping 800,000. That is true, and honestly, we're all saw it coming. Honestly, like, every one of us were anticipating a Larian Studios game is gonna be this big, especially one they spent almost 10 years, even more, making. People love this game, we do, many of whom hail from established D&D circles or happen to be experiencing an RPG like this for the very first time. Either way, it's doing gangbusters, and the video game industry will take notice very quickly. I mean, the video game industry took notice even before the game came out, when the devs started going on bitching and complaining and whining that players shouldn't have like this kind of high standards, because the game is quite that good. And well, the numbers put them into place really quick. Now the author is talking about herself and her own experience. While I'm only 15 hours or so into my own adventure, I'm also loving it. There are countless places to discover and myriad decisions to make that all impact every part of my unfolding adventure. It's wildly liberating, defined by a sense of freedom that few in the genre can match and make it feel like you aren't just killing time. However, not all elements of Baldur Gate 3 are created equal, with combat being the weakest of the lot. Here where she starts spouting bullshit. Right. Why am I against this? I'm gonna tell you why. This genre of game has this kind of combat. This is the combat of this game, and saying it's the weakest, well, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. I don't care if it's your opinion, it's a shitty opinion altogether. You have a lot of games that has not the exact same combat, but very, very close. You have Pillars of Eternity, you have Divinity 2, Divinity 1, Baldur Gates, the earlier versions of Baldur Gates, and you have Pathfinder as well. Pathfinder, I think the closest one to it is Pathfinder, to be honest, when you have been taking rest a lot of times. But this is the combat of these games. These games are not hack and slash where you can just press one button and oh, there you go, I kill 15,000 mobs with just one button, or a mage where you can destroy literally a whole village with one spell. This game, these kind of games requires a intelligent mind to know and try to get through these kind of combats while you're using their mind and tactics to finally get beyond that point. And I'll tell you why later. I've already made it clear that I've embraced the approachable arms of narrative difficulty, which removes the potential for multi-class disciplines and makes the majority of big combat encounters a cakewalk. So she already changed the difficulty from normal to narrative, which is the easiest mode you can get. This is the kind of person writing this article. This is the author right here, guys. This is the kind of author. The kind of author that doesn't expect anything hard in her life, and that she just wants, you know, everything easy to come her way. And I'm not gonna open this kind of article. She did another article saying how she was defeated by the standard difficulty and now she's playing the narrative difficulty. So you're playing the narrative difficulty, which is literally the easiest option you can get, and you're already having trouble with combat. And you're still having trouble with combat. I mean, come on. What are you... did you ever play hard video games before? Have all your games been sins? Seriously, girl. You still need to heal, deal damage, and manage all your party members effectively, but there's a far smaller risk of death and having to reload the save the save you haven't updated for the past several hours. Well, that's your own stupidness. So you need to autosave and quick save wherever you go. Like, I'm again showing you guys my gameplay throughout this video. Me and my friend literally quick save before every interaction or every combat, because we know it's gonna be difficult and we know we have to, you know, try different tactics to get behind this point, or even if we couldn't, just go level up or get better gear and then try again. Yes, I am not a very clever gamer. Well, that's obvious. At least she's self-aware that she's not a clever gamer. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not even clever. You're plainly dumb. I'm sorry. Like, if you're playing a game on a narrative difficulty and you're still having trouble with the combat, then you're just plain dumb. These kind of video games are not meant for you. I'm just gonna tell you this straight on to your face. To be blunt, I'll be blunt as well. I came to Baldur's Gate for the wonders of exploration and nuanced bonds I'd come to form with all these party members. Well, that's your own mistake then, because that's not what Baldur's Gate is all about. Baldur's Gate is this is a D&D game, Dungeons and Dragons. You have dungeons and you have dragons right there in the name, girl. You're gonna have to be good at combat. That is the essence of the game. I'm sure that the plot is so good that you want to explore and shit like that, but that's not the game. That's not the genre for you. Go play fucking an exclusive PS4, PS5 game for cinematic gaming or Sims. I don't care. Like, this is not how it is. Combat was always destined to play second fiddle. No, combat is never second fiddle in these games. The combat is literally the essence of these games, right? I'm sure having a good narration, a good dungeon master to give you an amazing plot, and you use your own creativity to play this kind of game. But the essence of the game is basically combat. The creative side is on the players. Normally when you play these kind of tabletop games, it's on the players to be creative, to create their own background stories, their own actions, and establish their own characters in this world. But combat is the essence of Dungeons and Dragons. Given my inexperience with Dungeons and Dragons and all the complications involved with defeating enemies and navigating environments without immediately biting the dust, well then go learn about it. I don't understand where you're coming from, seriously. I didn't come to Baldur's Gate 3 for high fantasy XCOM, but it's serving it regardless. Like, can you see how out of touch this person is regarding this kind of genre? How do you call yourself a gaming author, a gaming article writer, if you're not experienced with Dungeons and Dragons? How, I mean, I'm sorry, how do you have the motivation to write about Baldur's Gate or even to play Baldur's Gate if you have never played or touched Dungeons and Dragons? Just because everyone's playing it, it doesn't mean you have to either and expect this kind and expect the wonders of exploration and nuanced bonds. No, this is your own fault for not doing the research regarding this kind of genre and games, and not even reading the tooltips regarding characters and classes to be able to play the game. Walk into a combat encounter unprepared, or one you maybe didn't even realize existed until you stumble into its clutches, and there's a solid chance a horde of powerful foes obliterate your party without so much as a chance to respawn. That's the beauty of it, mate. Guys, again, I have streamed this game. Me and my friend walked into a hyena den, like we saw some hyenas on the floor, and there were something happening to them, and suddenly another creature was born from that hyena. We're in a combat, very disadvantaged by the way, because we were fighting archers and they had like advantage from the cliffside, and they were kicking our asses, but we managed to get through this. Like, we won it. Like, we used our brain, we fought them, and we won. Albeit we lost one member, but you know, risk it all and to gain it all. But that sense of accomplishment that you've managed to go through something difficult and win at the end, that is unbelievably satisfying. I'm still learning the ropes. I really doubt you're learning anything. But given I'd come to this game for stories and atmosphere, your own damn fault. You shouldn't come to a Dungeons and Dragons games only for the stories and atmosphere. Go watch a fucking movie or read a book for that. Having to continually bang my head against this mechanical intricacy only served to frustrate. Read the tooltips. Read about the classes. There's plenty of guides out there. Just read about the classes. Trust me, you will have more fun with this game when you learn about the classes. That's the essence of Dungeons and Dragons. You need to learn about the classes that you're playing. You can't just go in there and hack and slash your way throughout the game. That's not how it works. I can deal with random dice rolls, but not a dungeon full of bandits who understand how to deck me into oblivion within mere seconds. What level are you? If bandits are killing you, then wait, are you running around naked? This is not a fashion show. Wear armor. Anyway, but not a dungeon full of it. It's in the name, Dungeons and Dragons. You're gonna go into a dungeon and you're gonna find enemies. How dumb are you? Seasoned players are likely reading this and mock you insistently. Deservedly so, by the way. And not just seasoned player, any normal gamer will read this and just believe you're a fucking moron. Believing I should just have the patience to learn Baldur's Gate 3 and come to love all the battles that are meant to test my mettle and act as a gauntlet of strength and resilience. Yes, but I'm here for a fun time and I don't fancy dealing with unreliable save states and long load times whenever a big conflict goes wrong, or I make a mistake because I'm still learning the mechanics. How are you expecting to learn a game? I'm here for a fun time. Like I said, go play Sims. I'm guessing this is all you play, by the way. This is from what you wrote here. This is, I'm guessing, what the only thing you play. Fights get in the way of what I love about Baldur's Gate right now, at least. So I do everything I can to make them easier to digest and more fun for me. Oh, the emphasis on the for me is chef's kiss, which is what an RPG built on the foundation of traditional tabletop should allow, an experience that is malleable to our will. This right here, this phrase really pisses me off. Which is what an RPG built on the foundations of traditional tabletop should allow. Why should it allow it? The game was created like this, created for people who like challenges and like the game as is. This is for them, like that. They accepted it. You're the person who's coming here with assumptions and expectations that is not just this, that is not available in the game. No, it shouldn't allow it. No, not even. This is where I fucking gatekeep. You, this author, this game is not made for you. If you're coming here for fun times, I want to explore and do this guy and talk with these party members and make relationships, go play Sims. I'm very serious here because this is what you're telling me right now. This is your experience here. This is what your experience and what your words are telling me. Specifically, look, listen, guys, I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons player. I don't play these games. I really don't. But as soon as I saw Baldur's Gate like Divinity 2, I immediately rushed in to just because I know I will experience the same quality of dialogue exploration like her explorations and even combat. And I don't understand most of my class what it does. I'm playing monk. I don't understand what monk does, but I'm learning. I'm reading my tooltips. I'm reading my skills. I'm learning. The context of battle matters to me more than the actual mechanic execution. The context of battles matters to me more than the actual mechanical execution. What? So you like to read about combat but not to play combat, and yet you're playing a combat game? How does that make any sense? Making the wrong decision in dialing and suddenly finding myself in a bloodthirsty rage over people I don't wish to harm, let alone has me fumbling for non-lethal options out of desperation. While I might not admire the mechanical side of combat, I'm more than smitten with its emotional connotations. It's almost over, guys. Making combat easier and far less impenetrable relieves all manners of pressure that Baldur's Gate 3 is otherwise thrilled to apply. And I'm just not ready for it to ask that much of me just yet. It's how I want to play, and I don't see that as a bad thing when the combat feels like an intrusive element on otherwise a fantastic game. Okay, alright. I'm done with this woman. I'm done with this. This author is fucking dumb. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know this is very mean or not, I'm being toxic or anything, but reading this really pisses me off. Alright, let's switch. Okay, so why do I have a problem with this author? My thoughts about this is basically this person went in to play a game and expecting just the exploration and the dialogue from it. Alright? And she does not like the combat element of it. But the combat element of it is the core of this game. Alright? Alright? Understand what I'm saying? The combat is the essence of the game. It's the core, literally the core. Combat, the game is made out of this core right here. It's called combat, right? This is the combat. You get this core, you have the combat element about it, and then you start adding to it layers after layers after layers after layers after layers. Understand what I mean? So you have the combat core. The core of the game is combat, right? You add a layer of narrative. You add a layer of dialogue. You have a layer of characters. You add a layer of creativeness, exploration, environment, equipment, etc., 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 etc. But so what you're saying here is, so this is what it sounds to me like you're saying. You bought a car, you like how the car looks, you like it when you sit in the car, you like to open the window when you're in the car, listen to the radio about the radio in the car, everything about the car you like, but you don't like driving the actual car. That's what you're telling me. Right now, right here, right now, that's what you're telling me. This is why this article is insanely dumb. And this person should not write articles about Baldur's Gate anymore. I am so pissed off about this, that she wrote this article. I don't understand. I don't understand how she... How does she even... I know she's a woman. It's a woman. I don't understand how you can write something like this and feel good about yourself. Do you even understand how pathetic and idiotic you sound writing this and be good about it because you want it for yourself to be fun? You're playing on narrative difficulty and you're still having a hard time with combat? What is this? Guys, at the end of the day, this is why gatekeeping is very, very essential to these kind of games. If every single one of you, these people, walks into to our game, I'm gonna be saying our because I love Dungeons and Dragons. I actually love it. I never had the chance to play the tabletop version, but the games that I've been playing, I'm in love with it. They're insanely hard, and I admit defeats a lot of times playing them, but again and again I would try my best, try my hardest to play them because they are so much fun, and it allows me to be as creative as possible. This is why I love playing monks. I love playing. Every time I see a Dungeons and Dragons, I want to be a monk every single time because I just love martial arts. I love the animation. Even in this game, the animation for the monks is insanely great. And this person is shitting on all of that. Listen, I'm gonna say it as well. This author is literally shitting on all the hard work these devs did to make the combat as smooth and beautiful and awesome as it is. Okay? You are insulting these developers. They don't deserve for their game to be, for the combat in the game to be called the weakest element. It's not the weakest element. I would argue it's the strongest element of the game because of how integrated and amazing it is. How you can use the environment to your own, to your advantage. How the animation is smooth. How you can stagger or prone, or you can push. Man, you can push your enemy off a cliff and win that fight because you just plainly pushed him. The jump mechanic that they added, where you can cross different environment within the combat with just plainly jumping, making your action points into 3 separate categories. You have the bonus action point, the basic action point, and the class action points. For example, for a monk, you have his key. The key is basically an action point which you can use the monk's specialized skills, or the mage where he has a blessing. No, not a mage, sorry, a cleric has a blessing. Oh, you have 2 points in blessing, so you can use a level 2 magic skill or 2 level 1s. This is what it is. This is what it's all about. And making the movement in action points by itself, and the literal action which you use skills or other athletic abilities, basic points by itself. See how much complex it is, how much effort these devs put in this combat, and I will thank each and every one of you for giving me such an awesome combat mechanics. The mechanical combat system is quite literally genius with the way they made it, and I will forever be appreciative of that. Unlike this, I don't want to say anything other than that. Unlike this clueless gamer, these kind of people should not write about these games. If this is not the game you play normally, don't write about it, because you'll come off as an imbecile, as ignorant. And this is how she comes off right now. She might have been smug writing about this, saying that, oh, this is my way of having fun and the game should change to create it to me. No, the game should stay as is, and actually it should be even tougher than that to keep people like you out of our game once and for all. Go write article about your stupid cinematic games like Spider-Man. Go write article about Spider-Man where you can play easy mode again and play whatever you want, do whatever you want, or go write articles about Sims. Just stay out of these games. We don't want to hear your shitty opinions about it. Thank you and good night. All right, man, this chick reminded me of that other author that played Sekiro with cheats and he was happy about it. Bro, what the fuck, man. Anyway, that was it for tonight. See you guys for the next one. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. I want to hear your opinions about this. I want to see if you guys agree or disagree with this ignorant person, and tell me why you think that, and if we need to reinforce gatekeeping these ignorant people out of our favorite genre of games. All right, ciao for now. Bye bye.